Hey everyone, thank you for checking out day 2 coverage of E3. First I want to show something really awesome that I got today though. If you're a fan of zombie games, Lollipop Chainsaw comes out next week, and I got this really cool item today, so check it out.
Check this out. This is the employee launch kit for Lollipop Chainsaw, and I'm going to show you what all comes inside of it. It comes with a little signed with a kiss photo that says "Zombies Suck" on it. The little information sheet inside comes with a cheerleader megaphone that says Lollipop Chainsaw on it. The t-shirt, which is actually packed underneath everything, which is pretty sweet. It's the little skull and cross lollipops. It says Lollipop Chainsaw on it. There's a heart-shaped actual lollipop inside that is fat-free, by the way. You got a rub-on tattoo, a magnet, you got a wand baton that says Lollipop Chainsaw on it. You have keychains, all of the same. They're the head of her boyfriend. You have a poster that is basically this picture right here, just it doesn't say "the zombies suck" on it. You got some pom-poms that are gold with blood splattered on them, and then possibly the coolest part of the whole thing, a flash drive with her boyfriend's head floating in red liquid, which is fucking awesome. This thing is probably one of the best launch kits I've ever seen of free swag. I came into work today, and this was sitting behind the counter, open on the floor, and I just asked the store manager, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, you know, or what are you going to take anything out of it? Can I have some of it? And he's basically, you know, anything you want from it, just take it, because I'm the only person in my store that has this game pre-ordered. I'm really the only, like, super huge zombie fan. I'm the one that buys all the fucking Resident Evils and just anything that has to do with horror zombies. And I have a signed soundtrack for Shadows of the Damned, another Suda51 game, so I'm definitely very happy to have this, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, the stuff in there is super unique. I mean, shit, that's the first lollipop I've ever gotten related to a video game, as like a pre-order or pre-release kind of bonus thing. So just super kick-ass.
And it goes good with my Lollipop Chainsaw foam chainsaw that I got a while back. Now today was Nintendo's press conference, and then some game announcements and information came out throughout the day. I'd already mentioned on yesterday's video that Sunday night Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct event, which they talked about quite a bit of the details of the Wii U. But today, some of the big news was there's going to be black Wii U's available at launch. They did not specify the launch date or price, which kind of sucked. That would have been, you know, sort of a big thing to showcase. I guess they plan on announcing that a little bit later in the summer, maybe. Some of the game snippets and stuff they showed were from games they'd already mentioned, and some of them they really didn't even show anything new for them. Ninja Gaiden 3 and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, they at least did show some of that game and how the gamepad works with it. They showed a really short clip of Mass Effect 3 on the system. Some of the new games that the first time really seeing anything for were the new Super Mario U, which looks pretty cool. I mean, it basically looks like the new Super Mario Bros. Games that they've put out now on the DS and on the Wii. But this one's going to feature up to 5 people playing. The person in control of the gamepad has the access to create different blocks and stuff for the characters to get higher up on certain levels. Interesting feature, you know, but it kind of doesn't leave much for that player to actually do. You can, they showed a squirrel suit, that like a flying squirrel suit for the characters, and a floating Yoshis, basically, sort of like balloon Yoshis, that you can use to glide across gaps. It does look a lot of fun. I mean, all fucking Mario games are always fun, so I'm sure it'll be a big seller too. They showed a little bit more of Zombie U, which I can't tell if it's a full exploration, first-person shooter, like you control the character, or if it's a little bit more of like an on-rails type of game. The demo they showed was all like computerized. It wasn't actually a guy playing. It was virtual hands playing on the gamepad. But the content that they showed him working with on the gamepad was really cool. I mean, you can use it as a scanner, as a radar, as a basically your toolkit and your bag of stuff. I mean, he was pulling out all types of things while zombies were breaking through a door. He was using it to unlock a keypad on a door, hitting the buttons on the pad, which I thought was a really cool idea, and it just makes it so much more intense. I'm really looking forward to seeing more about that Zombie U. Besides that, they didn't really talk much about the 3DS, because they did mention a few games, but they said that tonight, or whenever you're viewing this, Wednesday the 6th, at I think 6 p.m. I believe, they're going to do a 1-hour live event on e3.nintendo.com and just showcase just stuff for the 3DS. So I thought that was kind of cool too. I'm definitely going to tune in and watch that. Now, as for the biggest games that Nintendo talked about, to me at least, they finally showed information and gameplay footage for Pikmin 3. It's been over half a decade since the last one came out. You're going to be controlling 4 different characters. Basically, the main character, Olimar, from the other games, isn't present, and they didn't really explain the storyline of where he's at, but they just said, you know, he's apparently involved in the game, but he just wasn't there in this section of the game. You can control the 4 leaders using the gamepad. Acts as a map, and you can see where the characters are at all times on the map screen, and you can switch back and forth between where they're at, and if it makes more sense to maybe do certain like puzzles or collect a certain item at that time. You can pick up the other player characters too and throw them up on higher ledges using each additional one of the 4 main characters. They showed one new type of Pikmin, a rock Pikmin, which they showcased him. Basically, they're throwing them at a wall and breaking the wall down. They finally gave an official name to the Paper Mario game on the 3DS also. It's called Paper Mario Sticker Star, and that is going to be out this holiday season. I was a little bit late logging on to the conference today for Nintendo, and I was sort of catching the tail end of Scribblenauts Unlimited, which they were showing. It's going to be on the Wii U and the 3DS. I only toyed around with the original Scribblenauts a little bit. They were really innovative and fun games, so I can only imagine with a subtitle like Unlimited also just how much content will be available in the Scribblenauts game for people who are interested. The last game, which Nintendo for some reason made it to be the biggest deal, and I can understand why, in the sense it's going to be the pack-in game for the Wii U. It's called Nintendo Land. It's going to feature 12 different games basically in this theme park style land. There's like a Zelda land, a Luigi's Mansion style, a Donkey Kong one. They looked a lot more, at least, intensive than the free games like that were on Wii Sports or Wii Play that came with the motion controller. I mean, so it's nice to see that, but they spent quite a bit of time talking about it, showing people playing it, and then it was the end of their conference, so it was sort of a weak ending, especially since E3 is more of like a core, hardcore gamer audience of who's going to be tuning in and watching that. Little odd on that, but for a pack-in game, for having 12 different mini-games that are more intensive, that's not that bad of a deal. They did say that you also get one Wii U gamepad with each system along with the Nintendo Land game, so as long as it's not $400+, then, that's a pretty decent deal. At least we're still getting a free game. This next game I just learned about today, but I'm already really excited for it. It's called Project P100. It's going to be a Wii U launch title, but Nintendo didn't talk about it at all at their press conference, probably because it looks kind of similar to a gameplay style that's in Pikmin. Pikmin 3 had such a big presence today that maybe they didn't want to confuse people or outdo one or the other. Either way, it kind of looks like if you took Pikmin and the Beautiful Joe universe and smashed them together, you play as superheroes that are saving the planet from these robotic alien invaders. The humans that you're saving, you can actually recruit as superheroes into your group, and from gameplay trailers, it looks like you can get up to 40 or more characters all cooperating at the same time. They can transform into giant fists to beat up the enemies, into airplanes that they were flying off rooftops to get to other areas. A lot of different combinations of attacks and helpful items that they can turn into, it appears. It's going to be put out by Platinum Games, which have done a lot of games I'm into. Bayonetta, Vanquish, Mad World, and it's going to be directed by the same director that did Okami. That was a game on the PS2 and the Wii. That's like a Zelda-esque style adventure game that features painting as a main element in the game. Now, Platinum Games, unfortunately, has a tendency to get great reviews on their games, but sort of poor sales, so I'm hoping that maybe this being a launch title for the system, and not having to compete with as much stuff, there's only going to be 27 or so games coming out on the Wii U at launch, that it'll actually make its launch window and then do fairly well, so hopefully Nintendo gets behind it and promotes it. So please do that, Nintendo. The last game I want to talk about today is not on a Nintendo system. It actually wasn't announced real recently. It was announced a little while back for PS3 exclusively. It is called The Witch and the 100 Nights. It's going to be put out by NIS America and developed by the same people that do the Disgaea games. It has a similar art style. It's done by the same artist, but the gameplay is in 3D polygons and not 2D sprites. It is going to be also a more action RPG than the tactical strategy RPG that Disgaea is. The story takes two witches, and you can kind of decide if you want to be good or bad. It doesn't really matter. It's basically just, would you rather help out people you meet or just help yourself and kind of screw them over? I love the really quirkiness and unique art style that the Disgaea games have, and I'm hoping that it translates over into this one as well. It seems like maybe they're going for a little bit less of a hardcore audience, people that don't want to have to play a game maybe for 100+ hours. This one seems to be a little bit more simplified, but still not for, the average gamer, so definitely looking forward to that as well. I think the early release date for that is like early 2013. Thank you guys for watching. Day 3 will probably just be a short sort of recap of certain games that maybe they highlight or showcased, and probably some of the Nintendo 3DS 1-hour event. Hopefully there's maybe 1 or 2 new games mentioned there as well. So thank you for watching. Peace.